Well, welcome to Arabia. In the yellow, we have the Viper playing as the Chinese. Ooh, and that's a strong civilization for Arabia, obviously. Even though win rate wise, it's actually only 20th or lower. I'm not sure. In any case, Viper playing as the Chinese, and in the red we have Hera still, well, still in the red, I guess. Playing as the Vikings. I mean, we could make Hera blue because he usually does play blue, but he was red the last game, and I kind of like the whole red versus yellow thing that they had going on in Red Bull Wolo. It kind of looks neat, you know. So I'm all good with this. So we'll just keep the colors for now. Now, because this was technically we're doing a second cast now, so let's get this this best of 2 going, or we'll just put it on best of 3. Maybe it'll play again after this. So boom. Let's get this game going again. And the first one was for the Viper. So let's see if Hera can come back here. There, we have a little impromptu show match here. Perfect. Hey, that's something you'll just have to get. That's something you kind of have to adapt to if you're going to be a pro player. There's just, it's lonely at the top, man. There's not a whole lot of players there. So the players that you're going to encounter are usually the same players. You know, especially when you're both queuing up at the same time. It's just going to match you. The matchmaker's just going to match you right back with that other player. That's just... Yeah, I guess that is the one downside to having skills, is that you can't really share that with a whole lot of people, because that's the whole point of being unique with skills. There's not a whole lot of people who can do that. Maybe the handicap feature will make it more attractive for pro players to play with, say, their friends who maybe aren't pro players, you know. I still wonder how that would go. Like, whether if I have the 200% handicap on, if I could beat the Viper or not. I don't think so. Because the handicap, yes, it helps you, but in the end it's also about decision making and strategy and micro. But still, it would be interesting, right? An interesting tournament. Like can pro players beat just mid elo players with 200% handicap? I would be very interested to see if they could do it. Because that'd be actually that'd be crazy and insane, actually. So we'll see. Maybe someone can do a show match for that or something like that. I'll do it. I challenge you, the Viper, to a show match. I have 200% handicap, and see if you can beat me. Oh god, good thing that he doesn't watch this stream. Otherwise, he would totally know. No one tell him though. That's too scary. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just a caster, man. I mean, T90 managed to beat the Viper a few times too, so, you know, it's not like it's impossible, but T90 is 2k, I'm 1300. There's a world of difference between that in Elo, so, yeah. Anyways, we should probably talk about this game as well, instead of just rambling on about the handicap feature, which, by the way, was one of the best handicap features I have ever seen in a game, just saying. It's looking really good. We have back berries for Hera, we have back golds this time for Hera as well, so it will probably be a bit happier about this one. But not a lot of wood lines. As you can see, these pawns actually make for poor wood lines, as you can see, so that's not really where you want to be chopping wood. So in essence, you really have two. Two, and if you count this really far away one, which is not... Again, not an ideal wood line. It's a lot of walling too if you want to keep yourself safe. This is a very open map generation, which doesn't really favor either Chinese or Vikings. Although Chinese have more mobility, have more options there. So I guess they would be happier about this. And holy ponds, what is this? Look at that. That's not even a pond. That's a small lake right there. That's an oasis with a lot of wood around it too. So Viper actually ends up having a bit more wood in the way of, of its wood lines. This wood line isn't the worst either. Yeah, his woodlines are way more, you know, you can actually build lumber cabs on these. And then he has this woodline in the back, which is really nice as well. But as a result, you know, every base needs to have trade-offs. And this, the Viper's base will have gold forward on a hill as well. So that's tricky. His berries are forward as well. And those are bad berries. Look at that. Look how terrible that is. It's like in a little inlet here inside this hill. So anywhere you come from as Hera, you can easily attack this berry position. That's going to be tricky for the Viper. I'm not sure if he's going to be too happy about that one. As a forward gold, what about his other gold spots? Extra gold here, forward gold there. So gold for the Viper, not very safe this time around. Not the best thing if you're Chinese, because you are going to be a bit more defensive. Now Hera is going to go for some men-at-arms here, which Viper now scouts, so he will know all about this. But he has to scout Hera's base too, you know, because you want to know what up with that. As Hera's just going to patiently wait here with his infantry. Yeah, so man-at-arms for him. Let's see what the Viper's doing. He is on gold, but I'm not seeing any barracks. So I guess that's just going to be straight archers for him then. Yeah, if you can afford the wood, that is. Still has to build the barracks, though. He knows he's not Khmer, right? Because you need a barracks to build an archery range. And men-at-arms are coming your way. And you want those archers up. As Hera's hitting the berries. Is he gonna build a barracks at all? Is he just gonna be like, I'm gonna beat you pacifist? Because that would be impressive. That would be very impressive. I don't think that's gonna end up well for you though. Still no barracks for the snake. Okay, there we go. There we have a barracks. Okay, thank God. I was like, wait, why are we not doing a barracks here? So we have holy house walls here on the wood line. Remember, all these houses do have less melee armor now, so they're not as strong. And the Viper pushed off of his barracks, but he's going to try to trap this army. But Hera spots it in time, is going to run away now. At least show that he is paying attention to this. So yeah, for now, Hera definitely definitely in a better position than the Viper. As the Viper taking a fight against Hera's scout, but Hera should run away from that. Viper scout has more HP. That mill might just be taken down here by the men-at-arms, which have, of course, a bonus damage versus building. Only 2, but still, it's 8 attack versus a building that only has 1 melee armor. That's 7 damage per hit. Not the worst in the world. Not the worst in the world. And that mill is going to go down. And that's 100 wood down the drain here. And also, no berries for the Chinese player for a while now. Which is unfortunate, right? Because that's important early food that you need. Archer range only now going up for the Viper. And Hera already has 2 archers out. Almost 2. Come on, B2. Okay, has 2 archers out. Now I can say it for real. And this forward gold for the Viper is going to be a problem. He has walled it in for now, so at least his villagers are safe. But it's only 3 villagers. It's not very efficient. So you're kind of trapped in here, right? You can't move out of this, and you want to get your archers out. So which Hera is already sending his archers forward, and this time he has men-at-arms and archers forward as well to deal with the Viper. So the Viper definitely on the back foot a little bit here, even though he is 2 villagers ahead, and that's with all this idle TC time. And you got to remember that is because he is Chinese, right? You get idle TC time at the start just because you can't queue villagers, right? You get loom, right, which basically translates to a free villager as well, and you start with +3 villagers. So in the end, it ends up being 2 extra vills. As you can see, that's how Viper has managed to do it. So it isn't small eco lead for Chinese every game if you do it correctly. And most pros will know how to deal with Chinese. As yeah, the Viper is still trying to mine some gold, but now has to abandon that gold. And Hera, he wants to snipe at least 1 villager, as Viper's trying to block these archers from leaving. But as a result, the villager get 1 more hit. Oh, it's going to survive. What a lucky bastard. 2 HP on that villager. Archers for Hera have gone down, so he will probably have to abandon his position now. But still, lots of idle time for the Viper here. You can look at his work efficiency. It's only 65% right now. It's, of course, not that efficient, obviously. Yeah, Hera's economy looking a bit better. As for Hera, he's not really walling his entire base. He's just kind of walling around his main town center just to keep his farmers safe for now. But he probably recognizes how open his base is and knows that walling a lot is not going to save him here. As Viper had to rebuild his mill on the berries, he's not actually up against the berries, so it's still not very efficient either, which you can tell, right? Look, I mean, that's not just me being mean or anything. It's just like these berry villagers are about as efficient as a farmer now. Okay, when they walk, that is. So a bit more efficient than farmers. Like, farmers walk a whole lot. So if you look at the efficiency for a farmer right there, it's always going to be around 67% until you get wheelbarrow, an upgrade that the Viking player will have for free. So remember, even though the vill count is in favor for Viper, all the villagers for Hera are working more efficiently, right? So that translates to way more extra villagers than just 1 extra vill. So Vikings have a really good eco bonus. You can tell, see, farming way bit more efficient for the player with wheelbarrows because the walking time is decreased because they walk faster. any case, double archery range for the Viper, so he's gonna, ooh, he's committing to archers then. He's gonna go for a lot of archers. I guess he doesn't want to stay, go to castles too fast then, but Hera, he is thinking about it. He's walling in front of his base a little bit more now to keep himself safe, because he also recognizes the threat of a Viper coming forward. He's dropping an extra archery range, but he is just gonna click up in a second here, and it's gonna be Hera who gets up to Castellate first, and Viper will have to protect himself. Now, Hera's gold is back, but it's not safe because it's very open on this side. So Viper is making its way to Hera's gold for now. Hera will have to protect himself. He's defending on the other side right now, fighting with villagers against the skirmishers. The archers for Viper making their way to the gold for now, but Hera has an army to protect, so Viper will have to run away from that. Still trying to get this wall up, but yeah, Viper being very annoying. The Hera defending with some skirms. Clicks up to Castellate. Very nice. Very nice. Hasn't lost a single villager yet, but neither has Viper, so it's very even in that regard as well. But yeah, this is enough archers to push this away. Hera will be making archers as well while he clicks up the Castellate. And the Viper, yeah, decided, you know, he's not going to go full feudal here. That would be kind of silly in this situation. So yeah, he's just going to click up himself. But he will be a full minute behind. A minute in which crossbows for the Canadian player can easily get an advantage over the Norwegian player. Yeah, both players migrating. Viper does have the hill, has the armor upgrade on his skirmishers and archers, so his skirmishers are a lot stronger than those without armor. But then again, Hera gets that armor right now as well. Also recognizes more skirmishers are coming forward. I cannot hold this, so I need to get a tower up so I can get stay on gold here. Tower almost completed. It's at 70% or something like that. 80%, 85, 90, 90. Okay, goes up, so Viper will have to at least either abandon the gold or sit underneath it, but that is already difficult enough. As he does it, look at that little bunch of army right there. It can't move away because it will get shot by the tower, but yeah, it's good enough for now. As Hera is defending with skirmishers, smartly making a lot of skirmishers as well, because you don't want to commit with archers to this. In fact, the Hera is going to send them forward. Ooh, and remember that Viper has a forward gold. That could be a nice target for Hera as he makes it to Castellate, fighting with some villagers as well, you know, just as a meat shield basically, as Hera and Viper trading evenly. But this is not going to be even at all, as Hera makes his way to Viper's base. Unfortunately, alerts Viper of his arrival. Yeah, I know, I need to breathe too, don't I? Alerts Viper of his arrival. Viper's gonna run away with some villagers now to hide them. Yeah, I wonder if going to the gold here might have been an idea to kill this army first using your crossbow upgrade, which he hasn't gotten yet because he can't afford it. Also, yeah, there was a bit of idle time, especially on the farms here, caused by the attack by Viper, and as a result, Hera doesn't have the food to go get crossbows, so it's actually Viper who will get his upgrades first, and Hera instead is just going to get elite skirm. That's not good. I mean, it's also easier for Viper to get all these upgrades, right? Because remember, it's all discounted for him. It's all discounted for him. Now that he's getting wheelbarrow, Hera should take the build lead. As you can see, he is taking the build lead right now. Again, the economy for Hera should still be better than that for Viper, but still, not being able to afford those crossbow upgrades, that was a crucial minute in which, unfortunately, Hera was not able to do any damage to the Viper. At least not fatally so. And Viper now has his army on the hill, so he's still fine there. He's getting a university as well. Gets Thumb Ring, you know, because Hera, of course, doesn't get that upgrade anymore. Because Vikings have lost Thumb Ring, so, you know, that's... it's unfortunate, but it's the reality of the world as it is today. Now, Hera does not have the second armor upgrade on his skirmisher. He's making mostly skirms right now. I can imagine sending them some more forward as well. Build an outpost just for some extra vision, you know, because these villagers are on a very precarious wood line. Got a university up as well, so he can get some ballistics out, because Viper... you know, he's thinking about it, right? He's thinking about it like he's getting it at the same time as well. So both players basically all in for archers for now. They'll probably add a town center if they can get damage in on their opponent. Now, with all the idle time for the Viper and also the fact he had to research wheelbarrow, he is now 4 villagers behind, right? So Hera does have a slight economy lead, but at least both economies are close to being efficient. I mean, remember, Hera now has handguard. You know, that's also 2 villagers, basically, and it does make your economy a bit more efficient, too. Although not as much as wheelbarrow, right? Handguard, not the most critical upgrade. It's an upgrade you can get, right, if you have the resources for it, but not an upgrade you need to get. Well, Hera, of course, is gonna wants to get some secure wood lines as well, so he's gonna drop a TC4 on his wood, kind of on his gold as well. So that's a nice spot to keep while he's trying to keep Viper's army at home. Viper has about double the crossbows that Hera has. Hera mainly making elite skirmishers now, is getting that 2nd armor upgrade. Now his skirmishers can actually fight these crossbows, right? They only take 1 damage from crossbows now, while doing extra bonus damage versus archers. Though not a whole lot, right? It's all comparative. More skirms going forward, and that is the amount of skirmishes that Viper cannot easily fight with his archers, so he might be inclined to drop a siege workshop sooner or later. Has also added some a town center himself on his woodline and his stone, which tells me that he might want a castle at some point. At some point, right? Might want a castle here. And indeed, a siege workshop has gone up for the Viper somewhere. Okay, there it is. Close to the gold, I like that, you know, because that's the most critical spot to defend. Mangonels, of course, a great counter to skirmishers, because skirmishers have very low HP and they die quite quickly to mangonels. So do archers, actually, but still. Viper expanding leftward, you know, as he's being pushed away from the right side. Whereas Hera expanding right. Viper actually going forward with his crossbows, decides to defend with mangonels at home for now. So both players trying to get some damage in each other's bases. Can't really get into Hera's base, but he can go to the left, back to that gold again. And Hera is kind of in a corner here. Let's hope that he's paying attention to this. If he's not paying attention at home, that could be bad. Oh, he's paying attention. Shot from the Viper misses. Hera trying to micro down his mangonel. Viper going for the repairs. Gets a shot in on the crossbows as well. But the mangonel does go down, and Viper will have to retreat now. At the same time, making his way to the gold, but there's some skirmishers to defend for now, which is not... I mean, these crossbows could easily kill these skirmishers, but it's not a cost-effective trade for them, right? Yeah, so Viper will not want to fight this without the necessary micro. Both players kind of trying to out-micro ballistics, but it's more difficult nowadays because ballistics work better against targets that are moving faster. I'm not sure if that applies to crossbows, honestly. I think it mostly applies to cavalry and kings, but in any case. Excuse me. We have another town center for the Viper now. He's also dropping a market just so he can get some market abuse in. We still have a fight between Hera and Viper. Viper, who does not know that Hera is on stone, so he won't know that those villagers are there unless he goes to the left. As he's still microing this down, but look how many crossbows he's losing, right? The Hera is losing skirmishers. He's okay with this. He's okay with this. Viper is losing an important unit, though. You want to keep this masked, where skirmishers do okay against archers in small groups. Not one-on-one, though. You know, not like one skirmisher against 10 archers. That doesn't really work. But if you have like 5, 10 crossbows should run away, be scared. Trust me. As Viper is also kind of denying a lot of farm space, a lot of economy on the right side here for Hera, who has added a town center as well. The build count is now 71 to 59, so slightly in the favor for the Canadian player here, who now surrounds Viper's army and is going to absolutely massacre this. Yeah, it's just annoying to fight against elite skirmisher with just crossbows. It's just not something you want to do. And yeah, the Viper losing a lot of army right now, and Hera, it's looking pretty good here. Now, he does have to switch into a power unit of his own, but I wonder what that is going to be. I wonder if Hera is inclined to go for Berserks here. I wonder, you know, because it feels kind of weird, of course, having to fight without thumb ring with Vikings, you know, to go for archers every time. It's not as overpowered anymore as it used to be. Well, I mean, overpowered, it was just strong, right? As Viper is sending forward the siege, man. Look at that. That's a menacing amount of mangonels right there. Hera kind of scouting around to the left. Finds his extra gold again. As Hera, I'm not sure if he knows. He probably doesn't know about this little army going this way, but he Hera will know about this now. He was probably building an outpost, or maybe did want to go for extra stable. As, ooh, problematic. A nice little hill for Viper to sit on, and this downside is going to go down quite quickly to these mangonels, and Hera recognized that as well. It's just going to have to abandon that, and that's a bunch of farms that are abandoned. That's extra gold, wood lines that have to be abandoned now. He's going to re-TC down here, but it's not the most ideal TC, obviously. It doesn't really touch the wood lines, and also you can't really farm around it, now can you? As Hera fighting with skirmishers. No, almost a nice attack round there for the Viper, but Hera narrowly dodging that, and this siege train making their way forward. And unfortunately, there's another hill next to a town center right here, so this town center could go down quickly as well. And Hera has clicked out the Imperial Aids here now, but has to keep himself safe for the next 2.5 minutes for sure. Has to find a way to do something, and he's gonna need some godlike mangonel micro to micro against 5 mangonels. 5 mangonels. There's actually 8 on the map right now. The Viper's just spamming mangonels right now. Attack round from Hera misses because Viper stops just in time. Hera's trying to take the hill. Micros against the mangonel, gets it's a 1-for-1. 1-for-1, trying to micro against this mangonel, but oh, skirmishers get wrecked right now. And the Hera, he needs something against this siege, because yeah, it's this downside is gonna go down quite quickly as well. 1-for-1 on a mangonel. Ooh, almost a shot on the other side by another mangonel coming out. Hera, I mean, this is a critical moment for him. If he can defend himself, he's fine. As, oh, nice attack round there from the Viper. Snipes a mangonel from Hera. That is a problem for Hera. He might need a siege workshop over here as well to defend himself. Abandons this gold. Is now going to go for a castle, but what a suboptimal castle it is. All the way in the back of the map. It doesn't really protect the front of your base at all, but it can't go up anywhere else, and he wants Berserkers, that's for sure. Because he's not making any other unit than skirmishers, right? He's not making a power unit, so it's got to be Berserks that he's going after. But Viper just smothering the Canadian with a lot of mangonels right now. And despite the fact that Hera is almost up to Imp, it is Viper who has that lead. Nice attack round from Hera, though. Dodges a shot with his mangonel. Might go for another 1-for-1 here. Gets a shot in, but it misses. And Viper with a nice attack round. And also a nice shot on the skirmishers. Those numbers are going to go down faster and faster. Hera bringing in that little raiding army, or at least it's up there. I hope he remembers about it, because he could use that. Now, Viper knows that Hera is an imp here. As Hera, nice attack round on Viper's mangonel, gets it. Yeah, another town center that is close to dying here. Still getting Bracer first, so no Berserkers just yet. This might have just been a panic castle then, just to protect this economy space for now. As the amount of mangonels for Viper has gone down. It's only 4 mangonels on the field now, and half of them are over here, the other half right there. It's a nice shot as well for Hera on the crossbows. Very nice. As so Viper will have to back out. The TC stays up for now, and Hera could maybe reclaim this farmland. And is an imp right now. He is an imp. Is at 100 villagers, 89 only for the Viper, who is actually getting armor on his cavalry right now. So he wants to get maybe some light cap out to maybe kill the skirmishers quite easily. Chemistry coming in as well for Hera, as the crossbows kill a few villagers on the gold. As attack round from Hera, from Viper, I mean. Hera almost getting destroyed by that, and it's difficult to micro against 2 mangonels. Hera microing away his mangonel, but it gets hit nevertheless. Viper's mangonel still alive. As Hera brings in a mangonel from the left. Gets a hit, does not get a hit. Viper goes for the shot. Ooh, almost kills the mangonel from Hera. Man, that is a lot of mangonel micro necessary for these players. MBL would love this. He would absolutely love this. He's one of the best in mangonel micros in the world. As a nice shot there from the Viper. Hera unfortunately biting the dust there. And another one, 1-for-1. So this mangonel gets 2. Really good for the Viper. As Hera is desperately trying to micro down this last mangonel so he can take an engagement against the crossbows. He's actually just sniping crossbows right now, thinning out the numbers. Has chemistry, some extra attack from him. As dives confidently underneath it. If he gets in the minimum range of the mangonel, he might be able to kill all these crossbows easily. Oh, big shot on the skirmishers, and Viper still holding a pretty nice position while he maybe tries to get some numbers out. He's trying to get some knights out right now, but the mangonel for Viper finally going down. The crossbows have to run away, and after all this pressure, in the end, the Viper is still in Castle Age, and whereas Hera is an Imperial Age. Now Hera is adding, I mean, as the skirmishers for Hera go down over here. Viper is adding knights, something that Hera will find out about if the knights show themselves, obviously. Evidently, Viper thinks that he needs some knights here to keep going. I mean, Hera definitely has stabilized for now, right? He has stabilized his economy a little bit at least. We'll have to rebuild some of the TCs maybe. Gets a nice mill on the farmland because you don't want to give up. We don't want to give up those farms, obviously. Castle's going up in the front of Viper's base, and it's almost like he wants to go for Chukunu with knights. You know, that's pretty good. Okay, Hera now sees that castle, a giant mangonel terrain going forward, but still, Viper not in Imperial Age, and it's gonna take a while for him to get that. And oh yeah, skill mill armor. Skill mill armor. More villagers going to stone? That's gotta be Berserks, right? It's gotta be Berserkers. Or not. Actually, no. Wait a minute. Oh, no. Okay, there you go. I was confused for a sec, because if you want Berserks, you don't need supplies. That only applies to the champion line. So he meant to get this upgrade, not you know, he didn't want champions, he wants Berserks. Remember Berserks, if you get chieftains on them, they do quite well against cavalry. You know, they already get, they will get bonus damage versus cavalry then. I think it's like +6. I'm not actually sure. We'll see if he gets the upgrade, which I'm pretty sure he will get if he sees Viper's Knight. Viper, though, the macro god that he is, has made his way up to Imperial Age as well. Could actually get that relic if he wanted it. Let's see what he's gonna get. It's archer ranges for him, so I guess maybe he's gonna make more arbalists then. I guess that's the thing. As Hera now finding out the hard way that Viper has a bunch of knights, so these skirmishers are finally gonna go down here. Yeah, Viper's easily gonna deal with that, but of course Hera will have Berserks to deal with that. Now, what Viper is going for here is basically light cap / knight / skirmisher, right? As his main army. Knight could be cavalier, but remember that the Chinese, of course, don't get paladin. That would be pretty OP if they did get that. So that's not available to them. As Hera has castle at the front of this economy now. This is probably where he wanted that castle in the first place, right? It's nicely on a hill between wood lines. It shields all of that. It shields this gold behind as well. All you need now is a castle maybe on this side as well. And then you have a nicely protected base. Especially as Viper is going to go around trying to get some kills with the crossbows he still has left. Again, a game that is gearing up to go to a game today that's gearing up to go to Imperial Age. Except this time it's Hera versus the Viper, and I'm still not sure exactly who's going to win this. 144 villagers for Hera, only 123, and I say only with you know, with the necessary quotation marks alongside that word. Only 123 villagers, so it's not like. I mean, Hera is ahead in eco, but in the end, you know, that's a slight overboom, obviously. But that's Hera's philosophy, right? You just keep adding villages until you get to 200 pop, and then you just delete some vills. That's what he usually does. In his own words, knights taking fights against the Berserkers, but remember, Berserkers are tough units indeed. You know, and they're also, are they elite Berserks? They are elite Berserks. They are elite Berserks indeed. Get 3 bonus damage versus buildings and also versus Eagle Warriors. Pretty sweet, actually. So if you're Vikings up against the Meso set, you don't have to go for champions. You can go for Berserks just as well if you want to. Viper getting arbalists now, probably recognizing, okay, that's Berserkers, I need to kill those. Skirmishers are not going to do the trick. Cavalry not going to do the trick. So instead, what the Viper's going to do, he's going to go for light cap and arbalest. But doesn't have a lot of arbalists on the field right now. This is a window for Hera, maybe to strike here. He's buying stone, wants to get another castle up somewhere. He's also getting hoarding, so that's going to be a forward castle for sure. He's getting ram upgrades as well, so it's going to be elite skirmisher, berserks, and rams for him. Now rams will still die to these mangonels. That's still difficult. Also, Hera's base is quite open, so the light cap can raid, and the light cap finding the stone over here. Hera trying to run them back to his own place. But yeah, not everyone fits in that TC, obviously. The light cap getting a bunch of kills as well. The eco KD much better for the Viper now than it is for Hera. Hera dropping a castle in the back of his base to defend that side as well. So unfortunately, no forward castle for him. He recognizes the threat. I need to be able to defend here. Maybe getting the pikeman upgrade, not the worst idea either. Both players getting upgrades on their buildings, right, to give them more HP and more melee and pierce armor, right, that will make them a bit stronger against siege and melee units. As we have some skirmishers raiding Viper's farms, but yeah, the skirmishers will be dealt with the light cap. And then the question is, what do we favor here? Do we favor Arbalest and light cap, or do we favor Berserks and skirm? And the thing is that skirmishers, yes, they kind of counter Arbalest, but light cap have a much easier way finding skirmishers and killing them, whereas Berserks aren't very mobile, right? You have two immobile units versus one unit that is mobile and one unit that is not, so... But Berserkers are way stronger than light cap, you know, so... As you can see, light cap going down with ease. The trebuchets stay up for now, and the fight is on. Hera wants to defend this castle. He has to defend this castle. It's a very important castle for him to control as the siege for the Viper runs forward, and it's probably going to prompt Hera to send in the Berserks and fight this, or not. Onager upgrade as well for the Viper now. Oh boy, oh boy. Hera's gonna need maybe need some onagers of his own, but it's gonna be difficult with Arbalest and light cap around, obviously. For now, though, the attack on Castle Berserk has been beaten off for now, but you know the Viper, he's gonna keep trying. He might switch his position to the right side, maybe take this hill, take the hill. If he takes the hill, he can easily trap this castle down with the hill bonus, obviously. A lot of elite Berserks, though, holding that position. I wonder, did Hera get his upgrade versus cavalry? Yes, he did. Yeah, 5 extra attack now. So remember, 18 base attack on these Berserks plus 5. That's 23 attack versus cavalry. Imagine that. And only 3 melee armor. So they do 20 damage versus these light cap. It's crazy. As he tries to run into the Onager shot. Dodges the Onager shots for now with his skirmishers. The Onagers do go down. The Berserks are absolutely going berserk on the light cap. Only look how fast those die. And now the skirmishers can attack the Arbalest. The Arbalest microing down the Berserks, of course, as well. Yeah, Viper perfectly happy to thin those numbers out. Hera maybe, you know, maybe not engaging against that would have been a good idea, you know, if you have them alive when the light cap come back, because now they're back, and now suddenly it is Hera who has to retreat as he's repairing his castle. Both players kind of looking at this part of the map right now. Neither side is going for raids on the sides or anything like that. I'm not sure, at least. I'm not seeing anything from the Viper either side. So Hera's trying to snipe as many Arbalests as he can. Streaming in Berserkers here to take out the light cap. But it's so much easier to mass a lot of light cap. And so many skirmishers are going down here. And Viper also losing a whole lot of Arbalest to this, but it's really getting your Berserker numbers up is a problem. As we had a pause here, I think Hera says sorry Ghost, so it was him pausing, that's for sure. It's funny how he switched into using caps. He didn't used to do that. It used to just be normal. As Berserkers stream in here, Berserkers will absolutely wreck the light cap, but light cap will wreck the skirmishers. So it's a battle of wits here. Who is going to get the better engagement here? And all this time, Hera has had to repair this castle. More trebuchets coming forward from the Viper. It's 4 traps now. The 5th one if he brings that one in as well. So this castle is going to go down, and Hera realizes it well. Stopped repairing it. There's no way to hold this hill now. And the light cap switching their attention to the right now. And this is just a problem. The composition for Hera is not mobile. He needs a snowball to push down the middle. He can't really raid around with his light cap, which is something that Viper could always do if he wanted to. Yeah, as the light cap making their way to the skirms again, and Berserks, yeah, they get extra melee armor and HP now, but they still die to Arbalest, right? They still die to Arbalest. You still can't beat Arbalest with Berserks necessarily. He needs to get his skirm numbers, or he needs to keep him up at least as well, as he's getting siege ram, which will definitely help you against Arbalest, you know, to push them, but not against the light cap, and that's kind of a problem, isn't it? As the light cap raiding on the right, which means the skirmishers can easily go to the left now. There's some onagers though. Attack rounds from the Viper gets a shot in on the skirmishers. Light cap raiding the wood line, but not doing too well. As Viper's not microing his Arbalest right now. A lot of Arbalests are going down to Berserks of all things. That shouldn't go too long as Hera still micro against these onagers, but onagers the attack radius is much greater. And Viper still keeping his Arbalest numbers to a level where they can easily kill Berserks. And the onagers, of course, can easily kill Siege Ram as well. This game is very close. On the other side, though, Viper switching his attention to this castle. He recognizes as well that if he can kill the castles from Hera, and he won't be able to reinforce his Berserk numbers. A nice shot in on the Berserks as Hera brings his Berserks over to kill these trebuchets. The Onagers are not in position, nor are the Arbalest, although they are now. As Hera brings forward a C-Trem, but that's going to go down quite quickly here. He gets most of the trebuchets though, but it's going to come at the cost of most of his Berserkers as well. As he's also had the micro in the left. Yeah, see, this is the thing. This is what Viper can do. Hera can't do that. He can't rate like that. He doesn't have the mobile comp. Gets the Onagers now though, so his skirmishers can actually go forward as well. Gets all the traps as well, so the defense for now is okay. Recognizes the threat in the bottom as well, so at least he's gonna address that now. Send back these villagers, and my god, what a game for now. We're hitting the 1 hour mark and neither side wants to give up, but Viper has significantly more villagers. It is 70 villagers killed for the Viper, only 10 for Hera. So his economy is worse than the Viper's. He's had to reproduce villagers, although he's not getting vills right now. He could though, he could. Okay, now he's getting villagers, thank god. That's good. More Onagers coming forward as well for the Viper. Yeah, C-Trem here and there will definitely help. Hey, if you can get close to the Onagers with C-Trem, that's a one-hit kill right there. And C-Trem, of course, will also help you push these Arbalests, which have a very nice number now. But Hera pushing forward. It's now him that is besieging a Chinese castle on that side. But a lot of Berserkers going down to the Arbs, who are kind of sitting in a nice choke point here. As Viper coming forward an Onager, Hera will have to micro away from that. So the light cam spam is difficult to deal with as Hera is running low on gold, so is the Viper. And then the question is, what is better, a skirmisher or light cap? And the answer to that's gotta be light cap, you know, because light cap counter skirmisher. It's as simple as that. As soon as the Berserkers disappear, and Hera cannot hope to push. I think I wonder, like, what do you do here? The numbers for Hera just not looking good. 57 for the Viper, 38 for Hera. He's trying to go forward now, but he keeps getting pushed back here. I wonder maybe adding some. I don't know. It's the thing. Like, if you add your own Onager, like it'll just get sniped by the light cap. But you have to do something against this goddamn ball of Arbalest, as now the Viper comes forward with a castle on this hill. Really nice position, and Hera realizes that he is not going to be able to make it do. Are you stuttering too? So I guess Hera had some, both players had some lag here, so I guess so. But yeah, in the end, I guess unfortunately, you know, the Viking player will bite the dust there, and it's not because of Hera's CPU, that's for sure. Yeah, Berserkers again. If it was up against cavalry and infantry, Berserkers would eat everything alive. But Arbalests do a great job at killing Berserks. And then the problem is that you can't add your own cavalry, right? You cannot add your own cavalry to counter what Viper is doing, because your cavalry would be shit. No bloodlines, no final armor upgrade, absolutely worthless in this kind of a situation. Like, and that's a problem, right? It's a problem because you lack the mobility that the Viper does. Like, the Viper can send light cav to raid you in the bottom. He can, you know, raid villagers down here. He could send light cav in here as well if he wanted to. He can kill your skirmisher, like your counter unit. I mean, your trash unit is countered by their trash unit, and your main unit is countered by their main unit, right? That's not a good situation to have. Yes, Berserks counter light cap, and yes, skirmishers counter Arbalest to a large degree. But the problem is that the fights just much easier for the Viper to take. He doesn't have to micro his unit as much. Just send light cap in, keep shooting with Onagers, keep shooting with Arbalest, and then as soon as the Berserks die, which they will. Then you kill the skirmishers, and there you go. It's that easy. Whereas if the light cap die, and see, this is the big difference. When the Berserkers die, the skirmishers die fast. When the light cap die, the Arbalest can always run away, and that is the frustrating part. You just cannot kill this freaking ball. I wonder if maybe getting your own Onagers, you know, just hide an Onager in a siege workshop, pop out and shoot this entire mess, you know, if that would have been worth it. I don't know. But in any case, yeah, Chinese, to just have all the options, and that is what makes them such a strong civilization. Like, if you think, you know, there's always a way for Chinese pretty much to counter you, right? The only thing that they struggle with is large masses of Onagers, right? Because you don't have redemption and you don't have bombard cannons. It's you know, you have to counter it with your own knowledge, which is not ideal. So I mean, it's not like Chinese can't be countered, but they can counter pretty much every civ that they encounter. Anyways, let's have a look at the statistics. In our game, pretty good there. Yeah, better KD for the Viper. That was to be expected, especially because he got a lot more villager kills. And you know what was a critical time, in my opinion, was right here. It was when Hera had defended really solidly with his skirmishers. Like Viper was not able to do a whole lot of damage there, but with small groups of army, right, he was able to counter Hera quite a lot. And even when Hera was in Imp, Hera wasn't able to use his Imperial Age to push the Viper. It was the Viper who was pushing him with Siege before a lot of castles came out. And that was a critical point, because that fast Imp for Hera, you know, this is the time for Vikings to shine, right? When you get to Imp faster than anyone else, you can use your Arbalest, hitherto with full upgrades, not anymore, of course. But yeah, that is your shining moment. Whereas Chinese, if they can last through that, suddenly they can get their ultimate compound, which is whatever you need, basically, right, to beat your opponent. And that's when Vikings start to struggle. The longer the game goes, the more the struggles the Viking player has. A lot of villages did go down on that as well, which is why the KD is skewed in the favor of the Snake. More resources collected for the Viper as well. And how are you doing, Chancellero? I'm doing fine. Games have been pretty good so far. How are you doing, man? Some relic gold for the Viper as well. Yeah, 3 relics after all. Looking at his still count, yeah, it's pretty close, right? But look how many villagers Hera lost here. 90. 90 vills lost, only 20 for the Viper. I mean, remember, 90 villagers lost and still around... If you still want to keep around this amount of villagers, that is... how much is that? 4,500 food? That's a lot of food. Fine, just coming out from classes. Ooh, nice, nice. You think you're gonna wind down with some AOE2? Well, that's the way to go. I could agree with that. What do you study, by the way? Because I assume classes means like university or something like that, or school, or like hell yeah. If I may ask, as Hera's APM tanked at the end because he was typing. Commercial pilot license. Ooh, cool. Oh, I get that. That's pretty cool right there. It's gonna be a pilot. You're gonna go places then, huh?